So I'm a member of PDP.
So are you now in the weakest camp?
I'm not in weakest camp.
The weakest camp is the one dictating the pace, pending the further court cases that you have and what the judgments would look like.
Well, that is your opinion. And I don't want to discuss the other things
All right,
that I know that you don't know.
I'd like to know.
But,
so it
but,
helps
the, but the summary,
form my opinion,
but the summary,
and the listeners
but
also.
the summary of it is that the matters are in court.
Okay.
We have matters in appeal court. We have matters in lower court. We also have matters in Supreme Court. You are aware that 2 days ago there was a Supreme Court sitting, and there will be a Supreme Court sitting next week, maybe about Tuesday or Wednesday. And disputes, like I said before, it is courts that resolves the disputes. And so once all parties get to the final, on the journey to resolving disputes through the judiciary, we will know where we all stand. But the fact remains that I am not in Wike's camp. I am also not a supporter of it. My understanding of the politics is that Wike's camp cannot sponsor a candidate because the basis for which they held a convention is faulty. An appeal court judgment says that certain officers are suspended, and then those officers convert themselves to caretaker committee, and such people went to organize a convention, assuming that is the only platform you have, and you want to even run an election in it. You should know that the house without a foundation will collapse. So your victory will collapse. And so for some of us who go the whole hog of the judiciary, let the judiciary determine, and thereafter the party will show the way forward.
I'm not trying to sound like a doomsday prophet, but what if it goes the way of the Wike faction? Because they're already in the secretariat. The last time the secretariat was sealed off, and your own faction was sent off, as it were, through the courts that has brought Wike's own into running the secretariat. What if the Supreme Court and every other avenue that you intend to try, reconciliations, does not work? Would you still remain in the PDP and not contest?
And have said that the party will take the decision.
All right,
that's what I said.
But you're not going to ADC.
And you are using as if the as if happens not the way you are as if in it.
No, it's not.
Then what do you
because I'm concerned.
Of course.
That's why I'm asking.
Of course, we know that.
And there are lots of people who are also concerned.
No, yes. We know that a lot of Nigerians are concerned. Not just you, not just, a lot of Nigerians are concerned. Because a democracy without a viral opposition is not a democracy. And then particularly for people who are close to you, who, wants you to contest the election in a platform, and all that, there will be trouble. But of course, the INEC timetable clearly states when this will come to this end, when this will begin, when this will close. The INEC timetable gives the parties April, May to conduct primaries. The INEC timetable gives the party 21 days to inform them on the day your primaries will commence. And within that 21 days, registration closes for all parties, particularly the online registration, because your register of membership must be in INEC's possession 21 days to the beginning of your congresses. And so, as politicians, we are working with INEC's time, and that is why we believe that, we are within time to do whatever we want to do. However, if you are not, if you are not taking your time to study these timelines and all that, you will be worried over, But what I can tell our people, party supporters, friends and associates, is that we will be up and doing. We will fit into the right moments of the INEC timetable, and you will see us expressing our ambition.
Well, the fact that you also have a higher aspiration. The senator, Henry Seriake Dixon, has not said that he wants to return. Should he contest, that means you will be squaring up against Senator Henry Seriake Dixon and then an APC candidate. I'm asking this question with regards to the fact that there seems to be no window to join a new political party when it's closer and you still are embroiled in court cases. Does it not worry you that the APC, if you go there, you might get their ticket or some other party, but the longer you take, INEC's window for the registration closes and you can't go to a new party. But all the same, you're up against Henry Seriake Dixon in the event that it is your faction that finally makes the day. What would you make of that contest?
Well, at first, I don't know if I'm up against Seriake Dixon. Okay, I have said I have an ambition. I haven't served in the House of Reps for all these years. It is time for me to proceed to the Senate. The last time I was here, I did say so, and I've not hidden that fact. Again, nobody contests elections on his own. You are sponsored by a political party. So if your political party agrees with your desire, with your ambition, and sponsors you, of course, you are in the ballot. You know, people also belong to other parties. You know, could be APC, could be NDC, could be Accord, could be, you know, any of those parties that has the choice of anybody to sponsor. It is their prerogative.
Well, let's face the PDP. Let's face the PDP.
So it's until when candidates emerge from the various parties, you know who is coming against you and you know who you are going against. So I don't think that I have any perception as to say that I'm going against Henry Seriake Dixon. He has a right to contest.
Okay. Well, you're also a friend to the Governor Doyedere, and some quarters have whispers. The thing with not having information is that speculations come up. Yeah. When people don't have right information, rumors also spring up. And so there are speculations, there are rumors. This is a radio station. We'd like to have clarity.
What are the speculations?
That you are being sponsored by the governor against Seriake Dixon.
Well, if the governor helps me, is there anything wrong about it? If he chooses,
is it true that the governor is sponsoring?
No, if he chooses so.
To remove Senator Dixon.
Wait, now if he chooses so.
Yeah.
Because the election is by voting. You can be in a party and decide to vote for a candidate you like in another party.
Is the governor bringing you to remove Dixon?
The governor is in APC.
There are rumors, like I said.
So you don't need to ask. So you don't need to ask that question. The governor is in APC.
People have sponsored candidates from other party. You are his personal friend.
Leishman.
I did not say it. Rumors, like I said.
See,
for clarity.
Yes, listen. APC will sponsor a candidate.
Yes.
Is that not the governor's party? So, why are you accusing the governor?
No, I did not accuse the governor. No, I said rumors. I said speculations.
Be it rumor or speculation, it's an accusation. Be it a rumor or a speculation, it's an accusation. The governor is the head of APC.
Not me talking.
No, it doesn't matter whether you talker, but you are the one that is expressing it. So the message will still go through you to whoever that speculated. So the governor is the leader of APC,
right?
And I know that APC will sponsor a candidate. And I did also say the last time I appeared here that I know that APC will sponsor a senatorial candidate from a Kremon local government. I did say so. I'm not an APC man, but that is my expectation. Based on the political permutations and negotiations and all that have been going around.
What if that person is a placeholder for you?
I don't know.
Should the PDP, should your own camp lose to Wike, it becomes a placeholder for you to switch there?
The governor has not told me so. Sorry, sir.
All right.
I have not discussed that with the governor. The governor has not said so. But what you should know is that the governor is the governor of Bayelsa State. And all Bayersans, no matter your shade of opinion or whatever, we are all within the realm and leadership of the governor. And of course, for us in the PDP, we keep insisting that this is our mandate. And so we will always ensure that we work with this mandate, hold it to ourselves until he is elected in another party. For now, this one is elected. He's elected under PDP. So we are not ready to,
even though he's in APC,
even though he's in
APC,
we are not ready to let it go, which he knows. Which he knows. Okay. That is it. But as to whether the governor is sponsoring you or has a play or is fighting Dixon, nobody's fighting Dixon. Not even the governor. The governor has no reason to fight Dixon. Dixon was a major factor in his becoming governor. And I know that the governor had never at any time, drawn a battle against Dixon. That I can tell you confidently. And so that is not an issue. What is important here is that by end of May, we will know who is in the ballot, who is not in the ballot. If Dixon is in the ballot, then he's in the ballot for his party. If I'm in the ballot, I will be in the ballot for my party. If others are in the ballot, they will be in the ballot for their parties. And then we will all crisscross the senatorial district to express our ambitions. That is what it is. So all these rumors and speculations are not necessary,
especially when they come from Facebook. They're not necessary.
Well, let's
leave them at Facebook.
I'm not a Facebook man, so
okay. We'll leave them at Facebook where they belong.
Oh, I'm not a data boy.
It's very short time before we know it's already the primaries will turn up, and the APC for sure will turn up President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes.
Your PDP, well, we don't know who you'd finally turn up. Sheyi Makinde has expressed his intention.
Yeah.
And on several occasions,
he's one of our leading governors.
Leading governor. You have also expressed that you think there is a strong man from Bayelsa State.
Yeah, of course, yes.
You believe so?
Yes.
You still think the window is open for the strong man?
Sure. But what I can tell you today is that no party, no opposition party can do it on their own. The opposition is working together. By the time they harmonize their differences, you will see that the elections will be set to go.
Do you think that Goodluck Jonathan should run?
Yes, of course. I'm already canvassing for it.
What if the PDP is embroiled in a crisis that the Supreme Court does not settle to make it harmonious for your reconciliation, whether it's the Makinde and Wike faction and all of that, and you probably all disintegrate? Where would you suggest it?
There is no Makinde and Wike faction.
But there are people in court.
There is PDP.
With two camps in court.
There is PDP versus Wike's personal party. That's the way I describe it. We have no two factions.
Well, Wike's personal party
Wike knows the PDP. Have you heard one day where one man stands up in a convention or whatever to say, oh, I'm now the leader of the party, I'm happy, I'm celebrating? Have you seen it in the political history of any nation? No. Except you founded the party yourself. Then it becomes your personal property.
But I'm concerned because it's the one sitting in Wadata in PDP headquarters in your office.
We are
in Abuja.
concerned.
And I know there's a video that you all fought your way in.
We are concerned. We are concerned that the government in power is struggling to destroy all the opposition parties. But we have sworn that we will shock them.
Why Goodluck?
Yeah. Why Goodluck? Because when Goodluck was voted out of office, when Goodluck was manipulated out of office, when Goodluck was deprived of his second term, I said to Nigerians on live television that Nigerians said that God does not know who is good for Nigeria. Nigerians said that God is deaf and dumb. Nigerians said that God is blind in making Goodluck a president. But that one day, Nigerians will know that they were wrong. Today, Nigerians have realized that they were wrong in not giving Goodluck his 4 years. I can also refer you to what former governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Fayemi said. He said Goodluck had everything right when he was in power. We were the people who turned the stories upside down and made Nigerians hate Goodluck. Goodluck economy was fantastic. Everything was working well. So today, Nigerians want President Goodluck back. Why do they want him back? Because they know that he has the experience. You remember, they are talking about removal of subsidy today. It was Goodluck who proposed to remove subsidy. It was Tinubu that sponsored the protests, the dancing, the cooking, the eating, the blocking and barricading of roads that made Goodluck not to remove subsidy. Today he came to meet his own vomit, and you can imagine the challenges he's going through. Ill-prepared to remove fuel subsidy. Look at where Nigeria is. Today, it was President Tinubu that sponsored Goodluck's exit of office. Let the two of them meet and let Nigerians see who is the best choice for Nigeria. Goodluck being out of office for this period of time has made him to have more experience in leadership roles. That's the right person Nigerians need now. And again, the North has come to realize that the only person that can have 4 years and return power to them is Goodluck. And so the opposition should clamor. The entire opposition should clamor to return Goodluck as a consensus candidate. That is my desire.